welcome back to my channel. So the first video today is just going to be a little bit of an update video, and then in the second video I'd like to talk about some things on my mind more pertaining to autism. But in this video is just going to be a sort of general update video on what I've been up to, what I've been doing. So I don't know if you know that my latest little special interest, if you want to call it that. It sounds so cute when you say special interest. My little special interest. You know, my fixation, you know, my all-encompassing joy that keeps my life stable. It's like my anchor, you know, it's like my stabiliser. Currently I've been avidly collecting drawing books. Don't ask me why. My interests are just random. I just got very interested all of a sudden in learning how to draw. Don't ask me why. It's just something that's happened. I'm not an intuitive drawer. I can't, like, you know, like just draw something. Like if someone said draw, I don't know, a tree or something. You know, I'm not an intuitive drawer. But I just suddenly I just wanted to learn how to draw. And I quite like those, you know, those step-by-step books you can get, which kind of show you how to draw things, but it's done in a very kind of like methodical, kind of step-by-step process. Because I find it very calming, and because I like following instructions, where it's kind of very methodical and very, you know exactly what you're doing, you just follow the instructions, and at the end product is something nice to look at, and you feel really good about it because you've kind of achieved something, even though, you know, you've just been copying instructions, but still you feel like you've achieved something. And I just have become really obsessed with it. But I haven't actually begun drawing yet. This is the other thing. At the moment I'm in what I call the collecting phase. So that means I've been spending a lot of time obsessively making notes of drawing books I'd like to get, because I've got a really long book list where I write down all the books I'd like to get. And I spend a lot of time on Amazon and on, I'm an Amazon addict, I'm on there nearly every day. Window shopping online, shall we say. I can't go uptown to window shop, so I window shop online. And looking at bookshops online and all the latest books and taking notes of the ones that look interesting and making a really long list. And then basically collecting the ones that look nice. So I get one or two every week. It's like my little treat, you know, what keeps me sane. And yeah, you can get them dead cheap off Amazon anyway. So that's my little treat to self. You know, I don't smoke or anything, so you know, it's a healthy addiction. A controlled addiction. I only get one or two a week, but I have a list. But yeah, I spend a lot of time like looking at, you know, the books I'd like to get and stuff. So I've just become very interested in drawing. So lately, so I've gone and collected all these books, and I'm almost at the end of my collection now. There's only a few more I'd like to get. So I'm almost at the end, although having said that, I don't know if the collection is ever technically speaking at an end. Because there's always new ones that suddenly come along. But yeah, so that's what I've been doing. And one of the books I've got, which I have begun going through, because all my books eventually I will use. You know, I'm not a hoarder or anything. I do use everything I get. It's just I kind of I'm in a collecting cycle at the moment. So and then I will get around to using it. And then obviously my obsessions will probably then move on to something else, as they do. You know. But yeah, one of the books I've been working my way through is called Handmade Collage. It's by, because collage is one of the other things I've suddenly randomly got really interested in as well. Again, don't ask me why, I've just suddenly got randomly really interested in it, I just don't know why. I think it's because, maybe it's something to do with the fact that I'm kind of trying to re-access some of my inner child, because things I used to be interested in as a kid, I used to like cutting things out, I used to like you know, doing little drawings and stuff. And you know, I think when you go to school, you're kind of trained out of it, like, oh, you know, you need to be spending time on, that's not important, you need to do this, that's not productive, sort of thing. And like, then you think, oh, you put it to one side, it's like not productive, and that's really sad. So maybe it's something to do with that this COVID isolation, and I'm still in effective lockdown for myself, has kind of made me in a way kind of more looking inward and trying to work out what actually do I really enjoy doing, what do I want to rediscover. And kind of, so in a way, maybe that's something productive and positive that's come out of this COVID lockdown that I might not otherwise have discovered, because I have to keep myself occupied, so that involves kind of finding new ways to stay occupied. So it might be something to do with that, like trying to rediscover, you know, the parts of me that have kind of been repressed over time, the more frivolous parts, the more, you know, because I did become quite indoctrinated at school by the whole kind of like, you know, kind of, I don't know, like, I indoctrinated a lot of serious stuff, which I don't think is altogether that healthy. Like, I guess I internalised a very strong work ethic, even though I can't work. But what I mean by that is that, you know, the whole kind of like revise until you drop kind of thing. It has to be academic, it has to be serious, you have to be disciplined, you have to do this, you have to do that kind of thing. And that whole kind of exam mentality, which actually, because I think maybe partly because I'm autistic, I kind of took it very literally, and then the problem is, again, becomes very much a part of your psyche. And then and then I'm like, well, this isn't productive, I shouldn't be doing this, this makes me feel guilty, this isn't achieving anything, this isn't like, you know, this is a waste of time, this is idleness, that sort of thing, which is a really, really bad mentality. And I lambast it because I hate that mentality, and yet I have absorbed it myself, so a bit of a hypocrite. But like I'm saying, I wanted to undo that mentality and kind of like think, actually, life isn't just about being serious and being productive. You are allowed to have fun, you know, and do things that don't necessarily have any you know, like I have this kind of thing, if I'm not learning something, if I'm not taking in something, if I'm not being productive, if there's no end result that's directly improving myself, then it's not worthwhile. And I never had that mentality as a child. That was inculcated into me at school, and I think it's because I'm autistic, I take things very literally. And what I'm doing is I'm trying to unschool myself, and I'm also trying to learn, and I'm also trying to become slightly less disciplined. I mean, I operate according to a military timetable. My routines are strict, man. But yeah, but I do have this other side to me, which is quite uninhibited and frivolous. So, and that side is kind of wanting to shine, you know, I feel it pushing within, you know, it wants to shine, I want to be more relaxed, I want to be more uninhibited, I want to be more free, I want to be more frivolous, I want to unschool myself. So I think, I've gone off on a tangent, but I think that's what this is all about. Anyway, so yeah, so I came across this book, and this is one of the books that I've got, and it's called Handmade Collage by Siko, I'm probably not pronouncing her name properly, Siko Kato. She's Japanese, but she's based in Brighton in East Sussex. And basically, you know, like those paint by number books and draw by number books, it's very similar to that, but it's collage instead. So it's 15 stunning designs to cut and assemble. So in the book, basically, you work through it, and there's different projects like that one there, and she gives like very clear instructions, and you just then essentially create the collage by following her instructions. So it's not like imaginative or anything. So you're just basically following her instructions and creating her designs. So this is her work that you're just copying. A bit like, say, paint by numbers, where someone has already decided what colours you use. You're not deciding yourself. And in the book there are, you know, you things to cut out. So you follow her instructions. Again, you just cut out the things and put them into order. I'll just show you as an example, because I've been working my way through the book. And so, for example, I'll just show you some of the ones I've done. So like that, for example, like you just you kind of put together different collages that she's done, and then you basically copy, essentially. So it doesn't really involve any brain work, really. It's completely but it's good because it's what I would describe. It's quite mindful because, you know, like say if you're doing any mindful activity, you need to kind of I guess it's one of those things that puts you into a state of flow, or as close to a state of flow as I can think of, because in order to be in a state of flow, an activity shouldn't be too demanding, but it shouldn't be too easy either. It should be in the middle. So it's not demanding because like all the hard work's been done for me already, but it's taking me a little bit out of my comfort zone because I'm getting used to doing collage and stuff, and I haven't done that since I was a kid. And obviously, although you're copying her designs, you still have to pay attention because you have to ensure you cut things out properly and place it correctly, and that still involves paying attention. You have to like read her instructions and stuff. So yeah, it's quite meditative, and I enjoy it. But I'm having to kind of again, there's another niggling part of me that's always like, oh, this isn't productive, oh, you need to be learning something, like sort of thing, and I have to fight that part because I enjoy doing this. And that part that's saying, no, you shouldn't be doing this, is that part that's kind of comes from the schooling part, which said, when I was a kid, when I liked doing stuff like this, but then, yeah, so I'm trying to have to, like, force myself to do things that I do enjoy, but that aren't productive in the way that, say, I'm used to, or that I've been schooled into, if you like. And yeah, but you know, I really want to do it, so I'm forcing myself to try and do these things that might not seem like productive in terms of like I'm not learning things, like I'm not learning in the same way I might do, say, if I'm reading a book or something, but actually it's good for me because it's relaxing, and I am learning in a way because I'm learning how to do collage. So although I'm just following her instructions, it's also helping me sort of learn how collage works, so that then I will feel more confident when I put together my own collage, which is what I want to do at some point, because I kind of like, I can then put together my own collage and I can think, oh, you know, it just gives me ideas, like sources of inspiration. So yeah, so I just thought I'd show you that as one of the books I got, which I've been enjoying. And I'm trying to force myself a bit out of my comfort zone. I'm trying to learn new things. I'm trying to develop a more creative sort of right brain side of me, because the left brain is overdeveloped, so I'm trying to develop my right brain, a more creative brain, I guess. That's what I'm doing. That's part of my attempts to develop myself. So, yeah, I thought I'd share that with you. Okay, so, so moving on to video number 2 now, because in the next video, I just want to talk about some things more pertaining to autism and some views I have, which might be quite controversial, I'm just warning you. I do have very controversial views. I have probably made quite a few enemies on Twitter. I don't care, I speak my mind. I say it as I feel it, you know, I don't hold back from saying what's on my mind. Get me into trouble, but it's what I am, I'm not going to hide it. You know, but yeah, anyway, it is controversial what I'm going to say. So, but that's it anyway. So moving on to video number 2, and I'm now going to be talking about some things on my mind pertaining to autism and what I feel. Okay, so moving on to video number 2 now.